Today's tutorial is on how to make this scarf, if you will. This is some kind of lacy stitch for spring to summer scarf. So this is the highlight here. This portion is the highlight here. This is the lacy stitches that I use, and then in between I used seed stitches. So one portion is made of the lace stitches, and then in between I used seed stitches, which is really very easy. It's just a matter of purling the knits and knitting the purls. And then the lace stitch is the multiples for this is 3 plus 2. So this is how I did. And then the border for this, I will show you how also. I used up 6 stitches for the border, and I again used my I-cord stitching. So I will be showing you how to do this. I haven't blocked this yet, but I intend to do that. But I just wanted to do the tutorial before I do it. I still have the ends, the yarn ends. I haven't sewn it up yet. So for this tutorial, I will use this yarn. This is a fingering weight. It's 80% merino and 20% nylon. So it's one of my yarn collections. It's still available in my Shopify shop. I will provide you the link below should you be interested in this. This is the remaining of my cake of yarn that I used. This is 100 grams in one cake. So this is the remaining yarn after I did my shawl. So today's tutorial, I will just do a smaller portion so I can show you the 4 rows repeat pattern that it calls for this pattern in making this scarf. So I will use a smaller version. I already started. I will be using a knitting needle. This is number 5.5 or US 9. This knitting needle is from Clover, the bamboo. And then you will be using optional is the stitch markers, and then you will also be needing your pair of scissors, and then of course the tapestry needle to seam in the ends when you're done with your project. So let us start. So here I have, if you want to follow my how I did my project or my fabric, I cast on the example here. Now I had casted on 56 stitches, but on my my original shawl I did around 177 stitches. So again, the pattern calls for multiples of 3 plus 2. And then the border here now, this example, the smaller version that I'm doing, I will be using 3 stitches on my right border and another 3 stitches for the left side of my border. And then I did about 3 rows of knit stitches for my foundation rows, and then I I already started, like, this is the Lacy pattern now, or eyelet as you may. So I already started 2 rows, or almost, I'm on the 3rd row now to repeat. So it's a 4 rows repeat pattern, and it's very easy. First row, which will be your right side, you will knit all except for the seed stitches that you will have here, and then except for your border. So let me show you that. Okay, so first row we will work on. My first, I will start it this way. So remember, at the first row is the right side, so we can start. So my border is 3 stitches, and on the right side I will do knit 1, and then bring your yarn to the front as if to purl. You slip off 1 stitch. That's the second one, and then the 3rd stitch I will knit. Okay, so this is now the body of my pattern. Okay, so knit the first 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then knit the rest of the stitches. Because this is row 1, it's just knit stitches all the way except for your the seed stitches in between the lacy stitches. So this one here now, I'm knitting 14 stitches. So remember, multiples of 3 plus 2. So this is knitting stitches for your first row. Okay, so I have 14 stitches, and then I will use my stitch marker so I know when I am done with knitting stitches and when I begin the seed stitch. So seed stitches is knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. This is only 5 here, so 14 and then 5. Okay, and then slit over your stitch marker, and then this will be 12 stitches right here after you do the seed stitches. So 12 stitches to knit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 stitches, and then move my stitch marker, and this is the seed stitch where you knit the purls and purl the knit stitches. So this is there is a bump here, so that means I will have to knit, and then there's a V shape here, V stitch right there, so that means I need to purl the knit stitch. So this is 5 seed stitches. So purl the knit stitches and knit the purl stitches. Okay, and then now knit stitches again. So this is 14 stitches plus 3 for the borders. So just knit all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then now for our border, the 3 stitches remaining. Row 1 is knit 1. Bring your yarn over to the front as if to purl, and you slip that stitch and then knit the last stitch. So that is row 1. So I'm back. We are ready to do row number 2, or the wrong side. So for the 3 stitches for my border, we do the I-cord stitching. So bringing your yarn to the front as if to purl, but you just slip that stitch. That's the first stitch, and then knit the second stitch, and then purl as if to purl. Bring your yarn to the front and just slip that stitch too. And then now this is our 14 stitches for the main body, for the shell. So for row 2, it's purl stitches except for the seed stitches. So bring your yarn to the front and you purl the regular way this time. So this is 14. Okay, this is 14. I will move my stitch marker to the right needle. So this one here now is my seed stitches, and I have 5 stitches to do. So remember to knit the purl stitches. That's number 1, and then purl where the V stitch is. You purl the knit stitch. Okay, knit, purl, and knit. So that's a 5. I move my stitch marker over to the next, and this time for the 12 stitches I will purl them all, and I will be back when I am close to the border. Okay, I am left with 3 stitches, and I am still working on row number 2. So these 3 stitches are for my borders for the wrong side. So the first stitch is bring your yarn to the front, and as if to purl, you slip that stitch and then knit the second one, and you purl as if to purl, you slip that stitch again. Okay, so we are ready to do row number 3. So row number 3 is where we do the lacy stitch. Okay, so let me show you the border, the 3 stitches. I-cord stitching. So knit the first stitch, knit, and then bring your yarn to the front as if to purl. You put your needle and you slip that stitch, and then you knit the third stitch, and that is our border. And then for the pattern, I have 14 stitches here for the first section of the pattern. So knit 2, 1, 2, and then the repeat is yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, and then knit 1. So that's the multiples of 3 plus 2. Okay, and then you do again, that's the repeat. So yarn over, knit 2 together, and then knit 1. Again, yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. Yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. And I come to the stitch marker now, and this is the seed stitch. I have 5 stitches. Excuse me. 5 stitches to seed stitch. Okay, so the first stitch is to knit. Second stitch is to purl. Third stitch is to knit. Fourth stitch is to purl, and the fifth stitch is to knit. And I am here where my marker is. I will be back. My throat is so itchy. So we are back. We're still on row 3 where we do the lace stitches. So now we are left with 12 stitches, and the pattern calls for multiples of 3 and 2. So we yarn over. Remember, the repeat is yarn over, and then knit 2 together, and then knit 1. So again, yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. Yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. Yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. And then we come to the stitch marker, and time to do the seed stitches. So knit, purl the knits, knit the purls, and then the stitch marker put over on your right needle. And I have the last section of my Lacy pattern. So yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and then you knit 1. Repeat that. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and knit 1. Again, yarn over, knit the 2 stitches together, and then knit 1. Yarn over, knit the 2 stitches together, and knit 1. Okay, and then you are left with 5 stitches right here, so we will only use the 3 stitches for our border on the left side. So the last 2 stitches here we knit. Okay, so that's 1 and then 2, and the border is knit 1, slip stitch as if to purl, and knit that last one. So that is our 3rd row. Okay, and then the 4th row now. 4th row is the last row to repeat, but it's only purl stitches again, except for the sit stitch section. So again, bring it, this is for the border, I-cord stitching. So slip, knit the second one, and knit the second one, I'm sorry, purl the second, and then you knit the 3rd one. So that's the border, and then now we purl 14 stitches. I'll do this section. Just be careful here where we yarn over, because there is a big gap there. But you have to be consistent with your numbers since we have 14 stitches. So you should also end up with 14 stitches right here. Okay, just be mindful of the big gap that the yarn over creates from the previous row. So I reach my stitch marker. So this is my sit stitch of 5. So I knit the first one, purl the second one, knit, purl, and knit. Okay, so that is what calls for the 4th row. So I will do the rest of this, and then I will be back to start with row 1 again with you. Okay, ladies and gents, so that is all that I have for the tutorial for today. So if you need to repeat the pattern from rows 1 to 2, just rewind the video or play it back, and it's an easy repeat. It's very repetitive. The only row that you have to be mindful of is row number 3, where you do the lace stitches, where you do the pattern. So again, that is just a small sample that I worked with you to work on rows number 1 to number 4, and depending on how long you want your scarf or whatever fabric or project that you want to make using this pattern, that will take you to add more and more, to repeat the rows 1 to 4 again and again until you reach your desired length. Okay, so again, using these stitch markers are optional. It would just let me know of like when I need to stop doing the sit stitches and when to start doing the lace stitches. So it's skill level, I would say, is an easy skill level. You can also do your thing of just putting this lacy stitch or the eyelet stitch in all on your entire project or entire scarf, but I just wanted like a break in between, so that's why I tried experimenting using the seed stitches in between making the eyelets, or in between making this lacy stitches. So I hope you learned something from this tutorial. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. If you are interested in learning more of knitting projects, and if you liked the video, if you liked the tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. Like the video, please. That would really help me. And there you have it. Good luck if you would like to try this pattern. Good luck to you. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Bye.